I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL, thanks for joining me. Christmas is almost upon us, and by far the most important decision we have to make is which fragrance will we wear. So I've put together a fine selection of Christmas appropriate fragrances that will give you the best chance of getting your scent noticed this festive period. Stay tuned. At this time of year, people are full of festive cheer, and when people are cheerful, they're more likely to give you a compliment on the fragrance that you're wearing. That's my logic. Anyway, so I've chosen 8 designer fragrances that I think are perfect for Christmas time and the colder months, so that first and foremost, you will enjoy wearing them. But I've tried to pick fragrances that I think are mass appealing enough to potentially gain the attention and approval of those around you. Without further ado, here are 8 Christmas crackers. First up is a fragrance that adds a sweet, gourmand touch to an already very mass appealing DNA. From Emporio Armani, it's Stronger With You Intensely. Lavender gives this one a strong masculine appeal, but built around this foundation are a plethora of Christmas-friendly sweet notes like vanilla, toffee, caramel, cinnamon. In the top of this though, there are some lively notes. There's some juniper and black pepper, and these effervescent lively notes just lift all these sweet gourmand notes off the skin and into the air around you and up the noses of the people that are nearby. It's got this warm coziness combined with this playfulness, and I think these two things together make this a very mass appealing scent that gives you a good chance of receiving a few compliments once people get it up their noses. This 50ml bottle was just £45, so it's not going to break the bank either. Next, I have one from Klein's Ideal range. This is a real sweet treat for Christmas and for the colder months, L'Homme Ideal Extreme. So I don't really agree with the extreme label on this fragrance. It actually gave me the wrong impression of what this was going to smell like before I smelled it. I think maybe L'Homme Ideal Smooth could have been a better description of how this one smells. There's no sharp edges to this one at all. Notes like plum, tobacco, leather, I'm used to those notes standing out in fragrances. I feel like those notes are used when they want to be used in quite a prominent fashion, but they don't really stand out to me at all in this. I maybe get a bit of creamy almond, but for the most part, it's a very well blended, very smooth fragrance. That's not a criticism of this because it's rich, it's sweet, it's sensual. I really enjoy that. I was just expecting something a little bit different based on the name, but once I was over that, I was absolutely fine. I don't quite get as much projection off this as I do from something like Stronger With You Intensely. This is the type of fragrance you maybe want to wear if you're having a bit more of a cozy, intimate Christmas. You're getting close with someone, they're going to be smelling and appreciating the sensual and sophisticated nature of this fragrance. So not so much extreme, more extremely smooth. So you've spent all your money on a tree, presents, food, booze, a bird, both types, and you've not got much left to spend on your fragrance. If that's the case, I've got you covered. You might want to try CK1 Shock. This is the cheapest on the list at £17 for 100ml. You can't go wrong. It's both rich and lively, often described as having an energy drink accord. The richness is coming from tobacco, amber and woods. Super mass appealing DNA, so pretty much everyone's going to love this fragrance. At just £17 for this bottle, it would also make for a good stocking filler or maybe even a present for a younger person just getting into fragrances. Whether you buy it for yourself or someone else, at this price, it's a steal. I'm going to go out there and say this next one is the best, or at least my favourite, of Paco Rabanne's 1 million range, Prive. Again, like a lot of fragrances in this list, it manages to balance a richness with a playfulness. Kind of tends to be what designer fragrances aim for a lot of the time. So this has cinnamon and mandarin in the top, which gives way to tobacco and myrrh in the heart. So there's a good strong backbone to this fragrance. I'd say it's not quite as sweet as the original 1 million. It's maybe a little more grown up, a little more sophisticated, but still a really fun fragrance that's very easy to like. Yeah, I'd say this is probably my favourite from the 1 million lineup. If you've loved wearing 1 million in the past, but you feel maybe you're bored of it or you've outgrown it, then give Prive a try. Why not? Okay, before I smell this fragrance, I just kept hearing people say, oh, this is Christmas in a bottle, perfect for the festive period. Sick of hearing it. But I agree. Burberry London. Christmas tree isn't a listed note, but it should be, because this definitely has a green piney accord, and there's also a sweet spiciness to this, and it's this sweetness combined with this green accord that really does conjure associations of the festive period. I guess, you know, everyone's right, it is Christmas in a bottle. It's a very cheap fragrance, but it doesn't smell cheap at all. It smells much higher quality than the price tag would suggest. If you want to smell like Christmas at Christmas, then treat yourself and everyone around you to Burberry London. It's a good choice. Okay, this next one from Viktor and Rolf has probably been included in every winter, cold weather fragrance list ever made. But I just can't stop including it. Spicebomb Extreme. I would describe Spicebomb Extreme as a cozy, sexy fragrance. It makes me think of sitting by a roaring log fire, wearing a Christmas jumper, drinking eggnog. Why do people do that anyway? Why would you sit next to a hot fire wearing a jumper, drinking a hot drink? It doesn't make any sense. I don't do it. I don't even drink eggnog, and I don't even have a Christmas jumper. But I digress. None of that matters because I'm wearing Spicebomb Extreme. So I get a peppery, spiced vanilla to this fragrance. There's a tobacco in here which adds a richness and a good bit of attitude to this. If this was a luxury fragrance and it cost triple the price, I would still think it's good value. I wonder what a luxury hand grenade would look like. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without some booze. And here, it's provided by Mugler. Pure malt. I'd say this is the loudest fragrance on this list. It's got the energetic character of the original Amen, but it's sweeter and I'd say it's more fun. The boozy note in here I wouldn't describe as realistic, but it's definitely a fun one. It's like a cartoonified version of a boozy note. If you want to give off a fun, energetic vibe with lots of projection, then look no further than Pure Malt. I noticed Essential are currently selling this 100ml bottle for £40. For that price, in my opinion, it's a steal. Might even steal you some compliments. The last one is a new release for 2020, and I think this is the highest quality fragrance of this whole list. Tom Ford Black Orchid Parfum. If you're familiar with the Black Orchid DNA, you will definitely recognise that here. It doesn't deviate from that so much, but then why would it when it's such an iconic and well-loved smell? So like the EDP, it's earthy, it's fruity, it's floral, but it's a little boozier, it's darker, it's richer. I will say I get fantastic performance from this fragrance. I get a lot of projection, it lasts a long time, so everyone around you is going to be smelling you if you're wearing this fragrance. I think this just takes a leap up in quality from every other fragrance on this list, which is why I've put it at number one. Do go in store and try it if you can, because it does lean heavily on the florals and that might not be everyone's cup of tea. But personally, I adore this. I think there's a very good chance that all your family will also love this. And if they don't, it's no big deal. Just get a new family. So there you go, 8 superb Christmas fragrances that I think work really well during the festive period or just generally during the colder months. There is a bit of a crossover with this and my winter designer fragrance list, but this is a little bit different just because I couldn't make 2 videos with exactly the same fragrances. And also I think these are all particularly well suited to the festive period, so there we go. Let me know what your favourite festive designer fragrances are. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM, keep smelling good, and have a very Merry Christmas. I'll see you in the next one.